this is Anne from Om Flow Yogi, today with another yoga flow called Hello Hips. This is a fantastic practice for anyone having hip discomfort, low back discomfort. We not only work on opening up and stretching, but we work on strength, especially for those stabilizer muscles. This is fantastic for prenatal individuals, but it's great for anyone that is feeling discomfort in these areas. For today's practice, all you need are 2 blocks, 1 blanket, and be somewhat close to a wall, especially if you need support for stabilizing in single standing positions, such as chair. All right, let's get this party started. To start our practice, make sure you have your blanket and your blocks handy, and you can choose to either be in a child's pose, puppy pose, or maybe in a seated position. I'll demonstrate the puppy pose for you, where we keep our hips up, arms extend as the head and the heart melts down. So you can choose this as your starting posture, or maybe it feels good to find a child's pose, knees nice and wide, especially if you're a prenatal individual, making sure there's nice room for baby, and slowly melting down. Wherever you land, start to feel your breath in the back of your body, especially around your hips and your low back. Setting the intention for your practice. What do you need a little bit more of today? When we're really tight in our hips, that could mean we need to release something. So maybe for your practice today, it's simply release. Maybe you need a little bit of joy in your life. Go ahead and think of something joyful. Maybe it's something else. Giving ourselves permission for the next few moments to simply enjoy being in our body. Take a nice inhale into the back of your body. Exhale, let something go. Slowly coming into an all fours position. Fingers nice and wide. If that doesn't feel good, you can always come into fists. Feeling the top of the feet, hips pulling back as the crown of the head extends forward. Flowing into our cat and cows. Inhale, slowly coming up into that cow shape. And exhaling back into our cat. Taking a few flows here. Inhale. And exhale. Last one. Exhale, let it go. And then finding yourself with your inhale into a tabletop position. Bringing the knees a little closer together, slowly extend through the right leg. Right toes on the earth, and this is where you're going to test out your balance a little bit. See if we can lift that right leg. The moment you have discomfort in that low back, lower, but see if you can extend it so that right leg is in alignment with the back body. Not higher, not lower, but in alignment. Then from here, see if we can walk the left fingertips forward. Maybe I stay here. Maybe I slowly lift that left arm to be in alignment with the back body. I like to imagine I'm shaking someone's hand as I'm kicking a door shut. Like as a parent, you have to multitask in many ways. So I'm feeling that wonderful integrity in my core, shooting back energy through that right foot as the left arm extends. Roll the shoulder blades down the back though. See where you can relax and release in this posture. And slowly lowering, left hand down, right knee down. Take some of those cat and cows again. Just a few rounds to let go of whatever happened during that sunbird. And then when you're ready, meet in center, taking that on the other side. Left leg extends, left toes maybe stay on the earth. Maybe you start to slowly lift that left leg. Maybe the left leg gets to be parallel with the back body. Again, we don't want to raise it way up high or low. We want complete extension, one nice line. From here, maybe I stay. Maybe I slowly walk the right fingertips forward. Maybe that right arm extends. Same thing here. I'm feeling that energy kick through the left leg as the right arm extends. Taking a nice inhale and exhale and lowering. Right hand down, left knee down. Go ahead now and take a few barrel rolls. So this is like scraping your rib cage around the inside of like frosting container. Go ahead and take it the other way. Peanut butter container, whatever you want to imagine. You're scraping with that rib cage. Coming back into center. Now this is where we get into those stabilizer muscles. Same thing, except we're going to keep our hands nice and grounded. Extend through the right leg. Maybe I stay here. Maybe that right leg extends so it's parallel to the back. Now we're going to play a little Jane Fonda moment. Inhale, raise that right heel just an inch, and exhale, lower an inch. If you're watching me, you don't see much as a flow, but I'm definitely feeling it. So inhale an inch, exhale an inch. And we're going to be here, strong and stable. This is where we're getting into those stabilizer muscles. You're going to feel your glutes firing. That's a great thing. And then when you're ready, start to do circles. And you can do a little bit bigger circles, drawing it with that right heel. But I want you to then make your circles smaller and smaller until you can hardly see it, but you can feel that small little circle. Oh, take it the other way. Really big circles the other direction. And then start to make it smaller and smaller. And then hold. Exhale, slowly bring that right knee down to meet the left. Take your barrel rolls, your cat cows, whatever you need to release. And if you need to get off those hands for a few moments, feel free. Then extending through the left leg, toes on the ground. Same thing. You can stay here, or if it feels good, you can extend. If it feels okay, go ahead, inhale, lift an inch. Exhale, lower an inch. Feel this from the inside out. So I'm flowing, lifting, and lowering. Just starting to fire those stabilizer muscles a little bit more. And then when you're ready, take the big circle one direction. And then slowly make it smaller and smaller and smaller. So you can feel it, but you can't really see too much going on. And then take it the other direction. Big circle, smaller circle, smaller circle. And then take a moment to pause here. Stillness. And then exhale, slowly bring that left knee down to meet the right. Taking one last round of cat and cow. And then finding yourself in a puppy pose, keeping the hips lifted, extending through the arms. Slowly melt the head and heart down. Come back to your intention, what you want to bring into your body. Joy, love, release. What you want to let go of. Maybe focusing on things you can't control and seeing if you can just let that go for a few minutes. Take an inhale. Exhale out your mouth, let it go. Fantastic. Come on up into all fours. Grabbing those blocks. You can do highest height, medium height, whatever feels good so you can get that right foot in front of you. When you're ready, guiding that right foot in front of you, and you can take your hands and guide it there as well. Prenatals, we want a wide enough stance that there's room for baby. From here, so maybe prenatals, we're going to come on the highest height, and that's perfectly fine. We're going to slowly heel toe that right foot forward until we feel a wonderful opening up in this left hip flexor. From there, slowly walk your hands up. And maybe this is where you stay. Maybe I roll my shoulders down my back. Maybe I find my hands clasped behind my back and slowly draw the hands down the leg. You'll find that this is opening up through that left hip flexor, but also a little bit through the chest. Only go to a space that feels safe and good for you. Take an inhale. Exhale, let it go. Left inhale. Exhale, release. Now guiding yourself into this half splits. Promise it's not full splits at all. Hands on blocks. Again, prenatal. I'm going to have baby over to my left side. Going to a space that feels good. Keep a bend in the knee. We want to make sure that we don't do any damage to those joints and ligaments. I want to stretch the meatier parts of my body. From here, exhale, slowly release down, melting down. So again, if I'm prenatal, baby's off to my left. There's no compression here. If I'm non-prenatal, I can bow into that leg a little bit more. A lot of times here it is a hamstring stretch, but I want you to really feel it in the low back as well. Every time you breathe, imagine somebody has their hands on your low back and you're breathing into that space. Take a nice inhale. Exhale at the mouth, let it go. Beautiful. Bending through the knees, slowly coming back. Right knee returns. Taking whatever flow feels good to you. Maybe it's a cat and cow. Maybe it's a barrel roll. Maybe you do your own funk thing that helps you feel good in your body. And when you're ready, left foot forward. Same thing here. It's okay to take that left hand to guide the left foot in front of you. Prenatals, we're going to have a wide stance, making sure there's room for baby on that right side of the body. When you're ready, coming into that kneeling lunge, heel toe the foot forward. Find a space that feels nice and stable for you. Walk the hands on up. Maybe I stay here, and that is fantastic. Maybe I clasp my hands behind my back. This time, if you clasp your hands, do it the opposite way. The other pinky's on top. It's going to feel goofy, and that's fine. That's what it's supposed to feel like. Slowly draw the hands down the back. Opening up through that right hip flexor and also through the chest. Just feeling this wonderful opening here. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, let it go. Walking the hands down. Same thing. Half splits here. Heel toeing that left foot forward. Keeping a bend in that left knee. Slowly start to fold down. Prenatals, baby's off to the right. Baby's nice and safe. Non-prenatal, you can bow into that leg a little bit more. Find where you want to hold it. Let go of the neck, the face, the jaw. Your first experience will most likely be the hamstrings. You're going to feel where you're tightest. But same thing here. And if it is available to put a hand on your back, go for it. Imagine there's a little bit of pressure here, and you're going to breathe into this space. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, let it go. This is basically massaging the body from the inside out. Hands on blocks. Slowly bend in. Left knee down to meet the right. I'm going to introduce you to hip circles, and oh my gosh, they are fantastic. Knees a little bit wider. And what we're going to do is do little circles with the hips coming down one side. It's almost like a kneeling plank, but we don't stay there long. We don't want to put a lot of pressure. This is like a kneeling plank back to a child's pose. And this, make them nice and yummy. For the prenatals, this can be really helpful for the first stage of labor. If you're feeling some discomfort in the hips and you just want to move your body. And then go ahead and take it the other way. Don't worry, if you're not pregnant or don't even want to think about that, that's perfectly fine too. This can just be a lot of fun to get into those hips. Last one. And then from here, finding your blocks again, coming into our first forward fold, guiding both feet forward. Adjusting your outfit as you need. Prenatals, we're nice and wide with the feet, bending through the knees, room for baby. Let the head and heart go. If you need to grab your blocks, feel free. If you have any heartburn issues, any other concerns here, you can always lift up a little bit. But if possible, feel this forward fold and notice the breath coming into that low back. This is a fantastic release for this low back. Same thing that we did in our half splits. Imagine somebody's hand on that low back. If it's available, put it there and breathe into this space. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, let it go. Bending through the knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive, hands all the way up into the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Beautiful. Taking a moment to pause before we continue on with our flow. Maybe one hand's to belly, one hand's to heart. Maybe both hands are in prayer at heart center. Feel your feet grounded in the earth. Feel your tailbone drawing back. Relax through the shoulders. And while you're here, closing the eyes if that's available to you and if it feels safe, check back in with your intention for today. What would you like to invite into your life a little bit more? What would you like to let go of just a little bit? Take an inhale. Exhale out the mouth, let it go. Hands down, eyes open. From here, we're going to take a chair pose, but prenatals keep the feet still nice and wide. We want a wide base to support us. If you have a traditional chair pose and you would like to bring your toes to touch, you can. I'm doing the prenatal example, so my feet are a little wider. From here, feel nice and grounded in all four corners of your feet. Hands to heart or hands to hips. Sometimes hands to hips can really help. Exhale, slowly come into a chair position. So I'm feeling my feet nice and grounded. I can still wiggle those toes, hips pulling back, maybe hands to heart, maybe hands to hips. Just want you to see how this feels in your body today. Can you relax your face? Can you relax your belly while you're here? It's about alignment. You don't have to worry about compression here. So if I'm drawing my hips back, I can relax my belly. Now, for those non-prenatals, you can still have that engagement. That's perfectly fine too. I want you to feel a little bit of shifting. I'm going to shift a little bit to that left foot, raising that right heel. See how that feels. Exhale, slowly shift back into center, and then bring your weight on your right foot. Lift up that left heel. We're going to flow a little bit from side to side. See how it feels shifting your weight from side to side. That's all we're doing here. Just shifting from side to side. When you're ready and nice and balanced, come back into center. Exhale. Come up to stand. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Slight bend in those knees. Slowly melt down into your forward fold. Again, feet nice and wide if we're prenatal. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Hands down, knees down. Taking whatever variation feels good. You can do the cat and cows, you can do the barrel rolls, you can do hip rolls. I really love these hip rolls, and you can make them your own. And we're just going to do a few circles each way. Go ahead and flip it if you're going one way. Fantastic. Then coming into our warrior two. This is where you're going to want to have your blocks, and you're going to take them with you if you like to have blocks in your practice. Slowly guide that right foot in between your hands, coming into our warrior two. And these blocks can help you transition there. Lifting the left knee up, left foot facing that long side of the mat, walking the hands with the blocks. Come into your warrior two. From here, roll the shoulders down the back. This is our first standing posture, so it might feel a little intense. I want to get us in alignment. So my right foot's pointing towards that short side of the mat. Left foot's pointing towards the long side of the mat. I'm going to take that right arm inside the right thigh. See if I can guide it open a little bit more. And my knee is in alignment with my ankle. Then roll the shoulders down the back, and it might help to put the palms up to relax the shoulders. You decide what feels good for you. We're going to slice a little bit in a lateral, bending through that right elbow onto the right thigh. Imagine as though you're slicing bread. Inhale, bring the arm up. Do you feel that in the hip? Exhale, bring it down. We're slicing bread here. Inhale. That's all we're doing. Exhale, bring it down. And I want you to imagine anything that you kind of just want to let go of, and just maybe you're slicing into that, whatever visual helps you feel good. Well, we're working on strength here, so I'm kind of distracting you a little bit. And then when you're ready, slowly coming up, heel toeing it together, coming out into a goddess pose. So my feet are a little closer together, toes pointing out. Hands still here. With your blocks, exhale, come down into a goddess. Inhale, back up. Just a few rounds here. And when you're ready, coming into a straddle forward fold. Heel toeing the feet a little closer together. Toes in, heels out. This gives room for the tailbone. Slowly coming into the straddle fold. Let the head and heart go. Shake it all out. If this feels safe and good and you just want to stay here, stay here. If you want to get a little bit more room for that tailbone elongation in the spine to relieve discomfort in the low back, slowly walk the hands forward while the hips pull back. Imagine a down dog with wide legs. This should feel really juicy. The more you're in the heels and then still extending through those arms, that's where you're going to feel the traction in the spine. Roll the shoulder blades down the back. And then slowly walk the hands back. We're going to take our warrior two on the other side now. So I'm slowly walking my hands over to that left foot. The left toes are pointing towards the short end of the mat. Right foot still points towards the long. Slowly walk the hands up. Coming into that warrior to the other side. So taking that left hand inside the left thigh, opening it up here. Making sure that left knee is in alignment with the ankle. And then we get into our lateral, slicing bread. We're going to open up through that right hip. Slowly bring that left forearm onto the left thigh. Inhale, bring it up, slice that bread. Exhale, bring it down. Continuing to flow with your breath. So we're working up the chain a little bit here, feeling that opening in the hip. But then as we slice, feeling the opening come up into our side body and our shoulders. One last flow or two, whatever feels good and balanced for you. And then slowly bringing it down. Last straddle fold. Slowly walking the hands forward if that feels good. Oh, letting go of the neck, the base of the jaw. And if you can, think about that same pressure, almost imagining somebody's hand in the low back and you're breathing into that space. And slowly walking the hands back, heel toeing the feet together. Fantastic. Bending through the knees. Coming up to stand. We only have a few postures left, and this is where you're going to want to make sure that you have a wall nearby. We're going to come back into that chair pose that we did before. So I'm in my chair pose. And this time, I'm going to put my weight in the left foot. Now, if going side to side was your max and where you felt safe, stay there. Know that you have your wall. If it feels good, keep that foot, that left foot nice and grounded, and see if you can lift up through that right knee. And again, having this available, this wall available to you, just see how it feels to tap out in front of you 2 times, tap over to the side 2 times, tap back 2 times. Perfect. Come back into standing. Again, working through these muscles here. Same thing, other side. Going into your chair pose, shifting your weight over to that right foot. When you're ready, tap out twice. Out, front, out, back. Your own pace. Tap out twice, in front. Tap outside. This is where we're working on our balance. Tap out back. Come back into center. You'll notice my chair pose wasn't incredibly deep for that. I'm working on stabilizing. I'm not working on the deepest chair pose humanly possible. This is where we get into delicious hipness. Recommend a wall unless you know you have really good balance. Stay on that left foot. Bring that right ankle over the left thigh. This, my prenatals always love in class because it's really hard to get into the hips, especially because we can't get into that pigeon pose all the way down on the earth. This is a fantastic alternative. It's safe for baby, but it's great for all populations. You could also have the wall in front of you instead of on the side. And see how that feels to just sink in, releasing discomfort in that low back, relaxing through the face. Inhale, slowly come on up. And changing sides. Slowly standing on that right foot. Left ankle over the left thigh. Oh, sink into this. Runners, lifters, people that sit all day. This can feel really good. Breathing into your back body, your front body. One last inhale. Exhale, let it all go. Slowly come on up. Go ahead and shake it out. We're going to end in any posture that feels great for you. You can end in a child's pose. You can end in a puppy pose. You can end in a seated position. I'll give you an example of child's pose, but then I'll come into a seated to guide us into close. Finding your blanket, if that feels good. Or maybe you want a block in front of you and the blankets to kind of come into, especially if you're prenatal. This might feel really good to melt into. Oh, maybe I'll stay here. The wider the knees, the more you get into your hips. Settle yourself into that final posture. And when you're there, closing the eyes, taking a nice inhale into the back body, exhale at the mouth, let it go. And when you're ready, slowly either staying in this position, giving yourself a chance to meditate for 5 minutes, or if you need to, you can come on out, wiggle your fingers and your toes. Congratulating yourself for connecting with your hips, connecting with your body and breath. May you have an amazing rest of your day. The light in me bows to the light in you. See you again soon.